Alright, so I'm going to make another video for 20 people to see. Never had a whole lot of luck on YouTube, but, you post videos whenever you can. Do the best that you can in life, and sometimes things happen, sometimes things don't. And this video here is kind of just me talking to complete strangers, people on different sides of the aisle, about something that's very common in this world today, something that's very upsetting to see. And you can take religion, politics, everything out of it. We live in a world today where everybody's talking at each other instead of with each other. Everybody's always screaming and shouting, wanting to be Mr. and Mrs. Right. People don't know how to be happy anymore. They don't. I work in the real world every single day. I'm around people, good people, crazy people, strange people, like everything. I work in really nice neighborhoods sometimes. Sometimes I work in really bad neighborhoods sometimes. And sometimes I run into really rotten people in the nice neighborhoods, and I run into really amazing people in the bad neighborhoods. The quote unquote bad neighborhoods, the quote unquote good neighborhoods. And it has helped me learn a lot in life. There were a lot of times I wondered why God put me in the places that He did when I was watching friends do things that didn't seem as strenuous, or I believed in my heart that they didn't go through things, which in reality everybody does go through stuff. It's just not everybody televises what they're dealing with at home. You see the good side. You see the family having fun with their kids, going to church on Sunday, taking pictures with each other, grilling underneath the carport, or watching a movie together. You see the good things. You don't see a lot of the bad stuff. And usually when someone does open up on social media and they talk about the things, everybody starts rolling their eyes and going, oh my Lord, look at this drama queen. And that's not to say that that's not true in some instances, but some people, I think, really just want a little bit of validation. If there's two things that don't hardly exist in this world anymore, it's empathy and understanding. And I can't really take credit for saying that, because I heard somebody else say that line, and it really spoke to me, and it made the most sense, but I cannot for the life of me remember who said that. But missing empathy and understanding is so true. And like I said, I work out in the real world every day. I see people all the time, and just the biggest frantic craze they could be, sitting in a car by themselves, screaming at the steering wheel, screaming at the person in front of them, losing their absolute mind because the person in front of them's not going as fast as they would like them to be. And I'm more than willing to bet that most people woke up late, didn't want to get out of bed, had 20 different alarms, snoozed every single one of them, didn't eat nothing worth anything that morning, if they ate at all, got in their vehicle and just jammed the key in there and just crunk it up and started flooring it, going down back roads and getting on the interstate. And you watch these people cut you off in traffic and do all this zigzagging bull crap, flying, no regard for anybody else, just to watch them pull over in a gas station parking lot, not to get gas, but just to run in and buy crap. And I always say all the time, going nowhere to do absolutely nothing. In such a rush to go to a job that they don't even like, they don't even want. And the world's full of harsh people, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse. I am very thankful, and let me be very clear when I say this on here, because there are some people in this world that get in the comments and things, and it's like you could talk to them till you're blue in the face and explain stuff, and it doesn't matter. There are some people in this world, they see one look at you, and they have decided that you're beneath them. And your words, what you're talking about, what you're doing is a waste of their time, and they want to make damn sure that you know. But I'm grateful for the life that I had growing up. I grew up on a dairy farm with some really amazing people on my mom's side. And I had a good family on my dad's side too. Family had their own business. So I was always around people being the boss and being in charge. We make the rules, we do the stuff. We went to church, but not very often. And I'll be honest with you, I'm the same way today. I've had my little spurts in the past where I was going to church pretty regularly when I was at home, and now I travel for work, and every other Sunday I'm gone and I'm not home. And my wife is a church going person. She loves church. I'm not. I be honest with y'all, I can't stand going to church. And I have prayed about it a lot. I've asked the good Lord, like, Lord, why am I like this? Because, yeah, there was some people that said some snarky stuff to me in the past, and, you know, there were times where I didn't feel completely welcome to being at church, but nobody ever did anything really sinister or crazy to me. I've heard some horror stories from other people, though, from some of the places they went, some of the churches they went to. Church was like school for a lot of kids growing up. They couldn't get their parents to understand that while their parents were having a good, fun time, it was a prison, a literal hell for them. I remember I did a video not that long ago on my TikTok, and y'all gonna have to excuse me. Just as soon as I started this video, I started getting indigestion like crazy. But I did a video not that long ago on my TikTok. For those of y'all that know and watch and have seen some of my little skits and whatever, I play as a kid named Devin. And I decided to name the channel Devin and Dad because that character did so well on TikTok. Hasn't done that great on YouTube, which nothing I've really done on YouTube has done that great, but also haven't really put that much effort into YouTube. And I decided to take those comedy skits and things and do a real actual thing with him and Dad, talking about something important, and that was about him going through literal hell and being bullied in school. And that video meant a lot to a lot of people. Parents, it's very important that y'all talk to your kids. It's very important that you have an understanding with your kids. It's very important that you let them know that you'll always be there and you're there for them anytime that they need to talk about anything. I know that we get busy. I know that times get hard. And I know there are days that you're just so drained and so exhausted. When that child came into this world, you know it. I don't have to preach it to you. But maybe sometimes you just need to hear the words again. Is that you owe it to them to be there for everything in their life, regardless how you feel. You wanted kids? Here they are. I'm not real keen when I hear someone say it was a mistake. I was talking to somebody one time, and I think it was pretty much along the lines of this. And he's like, well, it wasn't planned. It was kind of a mistake, and that just... Your kids are a miracle from God. Some people need to remember that not everybody can have children. That moment that you're sitting there wishing that they would find something else to do, that you're tired, you're exhausted, I guarantee you when you get older, one day you're going to look back and you're going to miss those moments. But church is not that great for every child. Church is not that great for every family. And that's not because God failed you. It's not because God is not in your life. That is because people are people. And if you live long enough, you learn to see the worst in the best person, and you'll see the best in even the worst person. I have met so many different people in my life and my professions. I have sat in trucks with grown men that were in their 50s and 60s that bawled their eyes out to me because they were going through some really horrible moments in their life at that moment. And they just needed somebody to talk to. I have also sat in rooms with people that had way more money than I did, that talked about how good God was in their life, And then shortly after, I seen them out in the back laughing with their friends and saying some of the most horrible language and talking about some of the filthiest things in the world. I am no saint by no means. If you watch my videos long enough, you'll know that I get a little raunchy in some of my videos as well. I am a dude. I am a brother. I am a son. I'm a husband. I'm a coworker. I do funny stuff. I do silly stuff. I do dumb things. And there are a lot of times when I go back to my hotel room at night or here to my house, driving to work, wherever. It doesn't have to be in a church building. But there are those times that I apologize to God for how I've been. And I'm hoping and praying that the next day I can be even better for Him. That's a walk with God. Now, I said that I want to talk to both sides of the aisle on this. Christians, fellow Christians out there, brothers and sisters, I can say this 1,000 times till I'm blue in the face. We can be very mean to people. Y'all need to understand, y'all need to know that. Y'all need to quit running away from that. You need to quit thinking that the rest of the world is terrible, and because you follow God, you're on the right path, and nobody can do any wrong by you. You need to start looking at yourself in the mirror. And God is everything in our lives. We know that, we understand that. But a lot of times, God's waiting on you to make a difference. He's not impatient. You're not going to surprise Him. He knows you and what you could be. And I know He's been doing it a lot with me. Sometimes I wonder if God's still there in my life sometimes, but I know a lot of times His silence is the answer. I'm sitting there asking Him questions of things I already know the answer to. That's why He doesn't respond. He lets me figure out a lot of stuff. And I hope and pray every time it's right by Him. On the other side of the aisle, I can't explain to you my experience with God and how I came to be 100% all in for Him. Where every doubt that was in my mind was wiped away. I've talked about this before. I've told the story. I'm not going to get all into it now, but I had an experience that I can't explain. And there are people in the world that if I told this experience to, they'd roll their eyes and scoff and be like, really? That's your miracle? That's the thing that got you to believe in more in God? It is one of those things that you had to be there, you had to see it, you had to experience it the way that I did. Point, simple, blank, period. I can talk about it 1,000 times, and you're either going to understand it or you're not. And I feel like a lot of people won't. That's okay, though. That's my walk with God. So you may say to me, like, well, everything that's going on in my life, where was God? All the horrible things that happen in the world and all the injustices, where is God? And it's not that you're wrong to ask those questions. I think that Christians need to be asked more of those questions. Christians need to think more. They need to think more. Hear me when I say this, Christians. We need to think more. We need to quit just throwing our hands up and be like, I don't want to talk about this no more. Either believe in God or get away from me. We got to stop doing that. Your children are going out into the world and being asked these questions, and they don't know how to respond. They don't have the knowledge equipped to them. They are young. They are impressionable. They see everybody else doing something. They don't want to be left out. They don't want to be left behind. They don't want to feel alone. They don't want to feel like they are the weird one in the bunch. And there are a lot of things that the church is not answering. Parents aren't answering. Parents are goofy as hell too, by the way. I'm sorry, can we just talk about that for a minute? But these parents are so daggum goofy today. Never in my life, like I said it before, that I'm glad that I grew up in the family that I did. Our family raised us. They loved us. They gave us room to be explorers. We were able to go outside and play and have an imagination. We had boundaries. I grew up playing video games. I got a whole entire wall here of old video games I've collected ever since I was a little kid. But our parents didn't put that in front of us to get us out of their face because they were tired and exhausted. They loved us. They cooked for us. They bathed us. They ironed our clothes for us. They made sure we were well taken care of. Not every child in this world can say that. I understand that. I know that. I'm telling you that I can't sit here and I can't say that. And I'll never look at a person that's gone through that in their life and tell them, say, I understand where you're coming from, because I don't. It's one of the worst things in the world when you've gone through something and somebody else is in something totally different and they look at you and say, I understand. No, you don't. I had a wonderful family. They loved us. They took care of us. They cherished us. And at the end of the day, when our homework was done, our clothes were put in a hamper, we ate our food, we did our chores, we spent valuable time with each other. If we had an hour left before it was bedtime, an actual strict bedtime, have your behind in that bed, all the lights out, no access to a phone or tablet or nothing back then, your behind was in bed and you were going to bed. And you laid down, sometimes you couldn't sleep. You did, you sat there and you thought of things. TV wasn't on, except for mom and dad in the living room maybe. And you thought about things, and you imagined things. When I was little and laying in that bunk bed that they had in my room, because my brother would come over sometimes and me and him would stay in my room together, I would lay there and just fascinated with dinosaurs. And I would think to myself about the T-Rex and Velociraptors, Bronchiosaurus and Triceratops, and a little kid able to say all those words. Yet at the same time, I didn't care about anything that was being taught to me at school. My mind was roaming all over the place. And that was a beautiful thing. That was a great thing. That's something I feel like a lot of kids don't have today. They have something in their face telling them the way to think and the way to do things. And that if you don't do this, you're not accepted in society. If you're alone at the cafeteria table at lunch, something's wrong with you. And you should feel ashamed. And that's bullcrap. My whole entire life I've dealt with adversary. I have had to defend myself left and right. Constantly crawling my way out of every battlefield, arguing with somebody. Because I wasn't just going to let somebody say something to me. I grew up with a lot of anger and hate in my heart. And it wasn't good. It wasn't. And guess what? Church never fixed it. Church never fixed it. The good Lord did. And I say all this, and I do all this rambling in this video, because, like I said, I want to talk to the other side of the aisle that doesn't believe in God and has an issue with Christians, and I want to say that I know where you're coming from. I 100% do. You don't have to agree with me at all. And this video was not made so you could hear me out and say, you know what, now I want to have a relationship with God. It wasn't designed for that. I'm just over here talking. You decide at the end of this video you still want nothing to do with God, you still hate Christians, I still want to be your friend. This is somebody on the internet that you don't know that is telling you, I really genuinely want to be your friend. I don't know nothing about you. You don't know nothing about me. I've told you more about me than I'll ever know about you probably, but I just don't know what's wrong with everybody wanting to be each other's friend. A true friend. Someone that cares about you. Because we're running out of that too today. I know where y'all coming from. Christians can be horrible, and I don't have a lot of friends that are Christians, believe it or not. I don't. I see so much fakeness, and I see so many people giving Jesus a bad name. It's upsetting. So, I had an experience in my life that I just can't explain. But it hit my soul right there at the core. And ever since that day, I haven't doubted anymore. And I wish that Christians could get to the point sometimes and tell them, say, my faith is that it is faith. I don't need to see God to know he is real. I don't need so much evidence to know that he's real. I can feel him. I know he's there. and I have peace in my life. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't vape. I don't need a bunch of crap to fill some void in my life. Even in my worst days, worst moments, in the months where money gets a little tight because we had some emergency or whatever, even in the years that I thought I would be doing better by now, but I'm still not. Even in the times where at one moment my videos were exploding and doing so much, and then all of a sudden I'm back down here and nobody's watching, paying attention to me, or even cares that I'm still here. I don't need all of that. I don't need this video here to go viral or anything. I never needed that. Because I was always loved. I was always loved and appreciated and wanted. And it's something so many people wish that they had. And so many people don't realize that it's always been there. He's always been there. But so many Christians and so many preachers have failed y'all. Humanity got in the way of your walk with God. And I'm so sorry for that, because that is one of the greatest things in the world. I love him. I'll never deny him. And I will preach about him to the end of days in the best way that I know how. I don't know a whole lot of stuff from the Bible. I'm not part of any committees or groups, or I ain't really been invited to be a part of a whole lot of stuff, But I know my God. I know he's got me, and I know he got you. We all got some problems, and we all got some things to work out. But we all got God. And I hope that both sides take something from this. Both sides of the aisle have done things to disrespect me. Both sides of the aisle have had great people that I loved and cherished. It didn't matter if they were church going or not church going. That there were negatives and pros to both sides. Different types of people in different walks of life that I've encountered and enjoyed. And if they're watching this, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. I love you guys very much. I'll see y'all in the next episode. I'm out for now. Remember that God loves you, and he is there. And if you ever want to talk about it, feel free to hit me up.